Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Happy Freedom Friday, children of the lawn.
Happy Freedom Friday to you all. Hope you're having a wonderful beginning of your weekend.
Yes.
I am. And one of the main reasons is we went to see Valentino yesterday in downtown Fort Myers, our hairdresser, hair
Our
cutter.
guy.
The guy is he's an artist. He got a new car, an Alfa Romeo,
That he had made.
Well, he ordered it and they built it for him in Italy, and then, he got it here. He's wild. He's wild. He's an innovator in hair cutting.
He is.
No, he really is.
Oh, thank you, Kitty.
Ooh.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
See, it even said, listen.
Thank you.
Oh, that's Kitty and Lori.
See, that's Kitty and Lori. He really is an innovator. I mean, like I'm sure I've gone over the thing with the claws and all that stuff.
Just
and
the other night.
he's amazing. And it's, I had the same person. I've had three, well, if you want to count Jesse, four people that
She cut our hair for years.
we're not going to cut. What?
Jesse cut our hair for years.
So she counts as one of my hairdressers?
Yeah.
Okay.
She cut your hair for like
Okay, well,
10 years.
if you've seen the old pictures with the, the hair that just grew, Larry McGowan said to me, you really should get your hair styled. And I said, well, what do you mean? Because he always had a great haircut. He was in a band called the Doppler Effect before he joined Rat Race. And he always had a great, Larry, till his last day had a great head of hair. But he always had a stylish look to his hair, which, I'm 14, 15 years old. All I know is nobody's telling me to cut my hair. So it's just growing, and it grew like crazy. In fact, I remember one time going into Macy's, and I've probably told you this one before, and I'm sitting in the wig department, and I'm going like this, and some lady came and yanked on my hair and said, "You can't try those wigs on."
That must have freaked her out pretty good.
It freaked her out pretty good. It freaked me out too. It hurt too, because she grabbed, she's fucking bitch. Anyway, so Larry said, you really should get your hair styled. And I said, well, where do you do that? Because I'm not going to Captain Freedom, which was the only place I knew that, it was like underground hair cutting, and it was weird. And he said, no, you go where I get mine done. I said, where do you get yours done? He said, from Mr. Charles.
Larry McGowan. I'm thinking Larry Hobbs.
Yeah, Larry Hobbs. Well, actually, he's the one who told. Well, okay, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Larry McGowan says, go and you'll see Mr. Charles. Well, I go and see Mr. Charles, and Mr.
How old
Charles.
were you then?
15, 16.
Okay.
Well, 11, I got to think of the year.
You were a young teenager.
Oh God, it was 68. So 15, 16, something like that. Mm-hmm. And we go to see Mr. Charles. Now, I don't know what Mr. Charles is. I don't know what the experience is, and what it really is, as you can imagine, is a hair salon. With the hair dryers and the women and the whole thing.
Right.
And Mr.
And
Charles
men used
is
to not
fabulous.
Go to hair salons.
No. And
They
I
went to
said,
barbershops.
Larry, are we allowed to go? Are we allowed in here? He said, yeah, go ahead. He said, So Mr. Charles gave me, if you see those old pictures of me with the English shag cut, it was Mr. Charles that gave me that haircut. So for years, I don't know if it was years, maybe a couple of years, maybe till I guess it was for years, for like 3 years, till the early 70s. Maybe almost 4 years, Mr. Charles was the one who cut my hair, and he gave me the same cut every time. And it was, and I used to have, the women were going, oh, your hair is so late. And it was my mother's hair. I got it from my mother. Thanks, Mom.
Yep.
And so then I meet Shari, who
Was a Rat Race fan.
Right, was a Rat Race fan. And she said to me, I'd love to cut your hair. And I was like, oh, really? Why?
She was kind of a fucked up Rat Race fan.
But she was cool. She was all right. And
she was always drunk.
Well, yeah. But that's when she gave the best haircuts.
When she was drunk.
Yeah, when she was drunk. But so I said, well, okay. And she happened to tell me that she cut Eddie Money's hair, which she did. It was true. She cut Eddie's hair.
Long Island girl.
So I figured, okay, I looked at a couple of pictures of Eddie. He had a nice style to his hair. Figured if he's letting her cut his hair, I should give her a try. I gave her a try. She gave me like the coolest, best haircut. And for the next 20 years, or was it longer than that?
I don't know.
It was from 70. Wow, shit. I'm guessing 72 or 3 when Mayo was in the band. Bob Catpow was in the band. I don't know. Anyway, she started cutting my hair in 74.
30 years, because we moved down here in 2004.
Right, 30 years.
30 years.
And Shari was nuts.
Yep.
And she knows it as well as anybody that, out there. She worked at Command Performance and she worked at whatever else, but she was amazing. And she used to come to the gigs and cut my hair in the dressing room, which, how can you beat
Kill
that,
two
right?
birds with one stone. You
Yeah.
don't have to go someplace.
Don't have to go someplace, and there was a whole lot of other perks and stuff that were involved.
And then Steve and I started going out, and I needed someone to cut my hair. So he said, Sherry will cut your hair. And let me tell you, she screwed my hair up so bad, we both think she did it on purpose.
We both think that?
You said you thought she did too,
No, I don't.
because it was so bad.
It was not a good cut for you. We used to go to who was it you went to?
Angelo.
Angelo, yeah.
Yeah.
See, if you don't go,
Angelo Termini.
yeah, if you don't go to a Guinea hair cutter,
He's the
Sue,
one
I
that
hope
gave
you're
me
Italian.
my first shag.
Yeah, you had a beautiful haircut. Well, anyway, but she finally straightened you out. We were
Yeah.
going there. We would drive all the
I
way.
think she was jealous because
Well, okay, because Debbie was now out of the way.
Yeah,
and-
his ex-girlfriend was out of the way.
I don't think so. But she had, I had a Corvette. She had a Corvette, and there was a bunch of mutual stuff. There were, like I said, there were other things, recreational activities that we indulged in. Nothing physical or romantic or anything like that, but drugs is basically what I'm talking about. I'm talking about drugs.
Yes.
And
Drugs, baby.
and
Talking
then,
about you and me.
after 30 years of cutting my hair, we moved to Florida. And it was like, oh, shit, what do we do now? And I don't remember what happened. I said, I'm not ever getting my hair cut again.
And
you
I
said,
said, screw it. I'm going to the mall.
I'm
Get
going to
my
the mall
cut
to
at the
get my
mall.
hair cut. And she goes to the mall to this girl, Crystal, or whatever it was.
Oh my God,
Oh.
right. And she gave me baby bangs, like the
Like
shortest
those short
bangs in the
little naughty
world.
holder bangs from,
Like I'm 20 years old. Yep.
like
And
she's Jennifer, what's her name, in
Lawrence.
Don't Look Up.
Yeah. And the girl that was across from
I
her.
said, you're not cutting my hair.
Yeah, the girl across from her, Jessie, had Raggedy Ann orange hair.
Did she have orange hair back then?
She had orange
She was
hair.
coloring her. She was nuts, tattoos, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But somehow she started cutting our hair.
Well, I wasn't going to let Crystal cut my hair again.
No, and I was never going to let Crystal cut my hair. So we,
Ball haircut's bad.
so we wound up with Jessie, and she was insane. I mean, truly insane. Let me let Booker in because he's knocking on the door. Ding dong. Come in, Booker King. Booker King. Hey, bro. I'm just finishing up a short story for the children of the lawn.
Hey, Booker.
How are you?
Good. Hey, you.
So she's cutting my hair and she's doing okay. And I'm not, really, I'm not into the whole big long hair thing at this point. I'm into not a normal haircut, but a more conventional haircut. So she did okay. And then finally, we just couldn't take listening to her anymore because
She was loud.
She was loud and abrasive and frickin' she was saying, "Oh, I just bought a Jaguar, and I just did a Jaguar,
she
and she tattoos and the pink hair, the whole thing." And
she had pink and platinum and black.
it was just so. I stopped going to her, and I called up Larry. This is the second Larry Hobbs, bass player. And Larry said, go to see Valentino. And I said, Valentino, man, I heard he's like $150 a cut. And he said, no, tell him you're my friend. He cuts my hair all the time. Larry always has a nice haircut. So I went to Valentino, and boom, here we are.
For 2 haircuts, it was $89.
$89 for 2 haircuts with the tip. So yeah,
can't beat that.
Not too bad.
Well, Booker doesn't know. He doesn't get his hair cut.
Why would he? I had Booker's hair, wouldn't get cut either. So,
how's it going, Book?
Yeah, how's it going?
Huh?
Everything is going well. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I got to tell you, we were talking about you yesterday. I bet your ears were burning. Just, we were talking about your label. Because I kind of, I'm so into this band. Oh, and remind me to send those MP3s to Frank. Sure. I'm so into this new band that I've always been stuck in the original material thing. You got to do original material, got to do it. And I realized that if a new band or a new old band, a seasoned band, black and seasoned, if we came out with an album with, all covers, all originals on it, I'm not sure how well it would be received. I mean, you guys have Corey Glover, you have Mike, so there's some fan transition there. And yeah, I have my credits, but I really wanted to kind of do something on my own. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't we do all the songs that nobody else can play because they're dead? Like Cream, like Hendrix, like Mountain, and Jeff Beck. I mean, we could call ourselves the Ungrateful Dead, but and I thought, man, what a great record. Call it Trios by my project, and I really started to get pumped about it. And we were saying, well, who would we go with? What label? Because I don't know that Deco, my label now for Entwistle, would be the right label for that. And we were talking about your label, and we were talking about Jack Douglas has a new label, and so that's if your ears were ringing, it wasn't necessarily from loud music.
Aha.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, well, have you checked out the roster for Ear?
No, I actually haven't. I asked my manager to take a look, and she's, we're going to talk about it after the show tonight. because I had to do a bunch of driving. I had a bunch of meetings all over the place in Fort Myers that we got our hair cut. I saw my doctor, blah, blah, blah. So no, I haven't seen the roster.
It's a huge roster. I think Alice Cooper's on it.
Oh, wow.
You know, people like Michael Schenker on it. Al Dimiola is actually on it.
Wow.
Really?
It's varied, but it's a large roster. Yeah.
So, but I wonder if they would even be interested in what we're doing. You know, I mean,
There's one way to find out, and the worst they can say is no.
That's right. And it's not like I'm unfamiliar with that phrase.
He played with Twistle, and Twistle's big in Europe. He played with Mountain, Leslie.
Right, Leslie was
Leslie's
huge
Europe.
especially in England, because there's up north, Newcastle, Manchester way, there's a news program up there, and their theme song is Nantucket Sleigh Ride.
Oh, really?
So, oh man,
Yeah.
so when we played up there, when we did we used to do the whole country from north to south, which is like kind of doing New York, because size wise.
It's not big.
But we used to do, and when we got up north, down south, we played the weirdest gig I've ever played in my life. These people,
Mousy!
hey Mouse,
Hi.
these people had a house near, where did the Pilgrims go from?
Plymouth Rock.
No, that's where they landed. Well, wherever they left from, Southampton or wherever it was down there, and they said wherever. You can look it up there, producer, if you want.
Okay.
We have a gig down there, and that's where I walked down the steps, and it was like all those stone steps that so many people had walked down them for hundreds of years or whatever it was. They're worn out in the middle. And we were playing at this place called The Cellar. I figured, okay, The Cellar. Come to find out, it's actually somebody's cellar. And walk into the venue, these two old people are sitting in their living room.
Nottinghamshire, England.
Nottinghamshire. Okay. They're sitting in their living room. The guy's in a recliner, and it's
It's actually somebody's freaking basement.
it's somebody's freaking house. And they said, "Oh, just go through the kitchen and take those stairs." And we go downstairs. They had a nightclub set up with colored lights,
With
and
a bar that they
rolling
rolled
bar,
around.
and it was just insane. So to go from that up north, hey Lenny, brother Larry, get your hand off my face. To go from there to North England and have these massive, we played Shepherd's Bush Empire and all that. It was just crazy.
Steve said he was so shocked when he walked into the basement. Leslie, it didn't even faze him. As long as he got paid, he didn't care.
Yeah, Leslie, he didn't care.
It was some people's basement.
And it was called The Cellar. That's the whole thing. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I remember Cellar Door. You guys must remember.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh, The Cellar, okay.
I bet it's some cool underground
and I'm thinking,
thing.
and we walk into these, like through their back door, into their living room. They're watching fucking television. The guy's in a recliner, and
Is
the
that what
woman
you heard?
says,
Nantucket Sleigh Ride on the news?
No, that wasn't until we got up north. This was all the way in the south. It was crazy. That's the craziest, the most.
But they play Nantucket Sleigh Ride.
Yeah, but they play it on the news, on this news show.
On the news show, like real news.
I think
Leonardo.
yeah, he's exactly. They probably just use, I never heard them use it, but it was amazing. The difference in the crowds from the south to the north, up by the North Sea.
Leslie was looking for royalties.
It was amazing, just amazing. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's, I don't know how we got onto
Leslie
that.
even told Steve that you can.
Yes, and this goes to my point of doing the classic,
Because
Cream,
Leslie would
Hendrix,
do it,
all
yeah.
that stuff on an
Hendrix.
album. Leslie says to me, this is going back 35 years, because I had produced a George Harrison album for Koch, people covering George's stuff. Todd Rundgren, Big Head Todd, and Bill Wyman,
Couple of
and
Big
Whistle,
Head
and a bunch, yeah, right. And Leslie said to me, Steve, you can copyright your arrangement. I was like,
You can
"Whoa."
copyright the arrangement of someone else's song.
If you do your own arrangements of somebody's song, you can copyright it and
Yeah.
get royalties.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense, actually.
It really does, but who would know
Because
that?
there's some, I mean, you hear like a Beatles song. Some people here's like Frank Sinatra's version of, Yesterday.
Right.
Completely different than the arrangement
Yeah.
of the original,
Like Crimson and Clover.
Right, but if you don't know that, you're just going to
No,
cover.
who would know? You would just think the person who wrote the song gets the royalties.
Leslie would know.
Leslie.
Leslie would
The
know.
one who took a Polaroid of his fat cat as a piece of art.
Yeah, as the piece of art. Well, it's all subjective art. I was at the Metropolitan Museum of Art yesterday, actually.
Wait, Mousy, you're back in your room.
Oh yeah,
I am. I know. I had to say goodbye to all my Spanish boys.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Oh, really?
Who are
Well,
you?
because one of the other host families got COVID. So
Did he
she called me up like a few days after he was there, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I have COVID. I said, well, send him down to me. So then he got COVID. So I kind of was keeping him isolated, but he didn't take it too badly. So, he wasn't very symptomatic. But I kept him isolated for a few days from the other kids and only be like outside when we were doing things outdoors and he happens to be very artistic and very like introspective. He loved, like, his favorite thing of America was going to the Intrepid Museum.
Wow.
And he came home and he said, I can't believe that they have, like, he named 15 different kinds of aircrafts that I have no idea what he was talking about. He was like, I was hoping I would get to see this, and they did have one there. And
I
he
know
had
exactly what he was talking
Yeah,
about. I'm a
Steve
jet.
knows
exactly.
I'm a big time jet
It
head.
was out of his mind. That was like his dream come true to go there. And the other thing is, I dragged into the city yesterday to go take him to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And the one thing that was a little sad was, how sometimes they have exhibits that are closed.
Yeah.
So he, the one thing he really wanted to see was the Asian art exhibit because he's into anime and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So the Chinese part was open, but the Japanese part was closed, and that was what he really wanted to see. But he took 10,000 pictures of, like a pot from Africa and a tapestry from Egypt, and he just, I mean, it is really impressive. I forgot because I haven't been there since my kids were on their last class trips, and I would often go myself just to enjoy being there. But he's walking around and he's like, we have museums in Spain, he said, but like I'm walking here and I'm looking, here's a Rubens, and then the next room, here's a Picasso, and then here's the next room, here's El Greco, and here's, whatever. So I was like, yeah, they kind of put some money into this. We got
See it in different eyes.
I took Lori to
it's
him.
no Polaroid of a cat, but
I took Lori to a museum once.
Oh, what was it? The natural history one? But you gotta tell them about what happened on your field trip when you went to the
UN?
United Nations
Which
about
thing?
the tapestry.
Oh yeah, I don't know when. Hey Tom.
hi, Tom.
Hey.
I don't know when the last time anybody, and I don't even know if it's still there, but when I was in elementary school, we used to have the greatest field trips because I went to school in White Plains. So it was get on the bus, drive into the city. We saw
Same here. Yeah.
Bernstein at Lincoln Center, and we went to the UN, and we did all these just amazing things. And when we were at the United Nations, we were in the big room with all, where they are, with all the balconies and all the stuff where the translators and all that shit. And as we're leaving, we go out into the lobby, and the lobby is like the whole height of the whole building. Well, it's massive, maybe not the whole height, but it's several floors. And hanging on one wall is a tapestry that has to be 30 feet tall and maybe 20 feet wide, just massive. And they tell us that it was done, they give us the stats on it, over a period of so many years by one person, and there's one mistake in it on purpose because nothing on earth, nothing is
That's
perfect.
so cool.
And the other thing that they had was there was a pendulum, a massive, like 40, 50 feet tall pendulum that was just swinging back and forth. And they said what why it's moving is because of the movement of the Earth.
Yeah,
That
it
it would
didn't
only
stop.
stop moving if the Earth stopped moving.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember. And there was a black and white picture by the flags, and boom.
But I like the imperfect stitch in the tapestry.
Yeah, I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, we wanted to try to find it. They wouldn't let us take it down.
Oh, really? They wouldn't let you take it down? But I had these kids here and I was doing all kinds of things with them. And they went into the city, I don't know how many times. The things that impressed them, I told you, they're like, there is an entire store in Times Square that sells M&Ms. They were just beside themselves over the M&M store. They're like, it's like 3 stories, and it's like it's like, yeah, I get
Tubes
it.
with all the colored shit in them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was things, but just the fact that he said to me when we were there at night in Times Square, and of course it's the mob scene that goes on in Times Square, and he's like, where is everybody going? And I said, they're not going anywhere. I go, they're going different places, I guess. He goes, but why is everybody out here now? Like he thought there was some sort of event. I go, this is New York, bro. And he lives in Madrid. It's not like he lives in the country. But I felt so obliged to like give them all these experiences and take them to the cruise.
Of course you did.
And
then you know what? Somebody said to me, why are you stressing? You realize if a host family in like Oklahoma, like they went to Ireland last year, he's like, yeah, we did nothing in Ireland. I was like, really? Here I am, like, I'm like, pulling out my magic act and like, taking them to Lincoln Center to see dancers and things.
This is an interesting question.
Yeah, but you gave them once in a lifetime experiences.
Well, the mother sent me a note today because Gonzalo landed yesterday morning, and she said, we have a little problem here. And I said, what's the problem? And she said, he did not want to come home. And he sat there and he said to me, I don't want to go home. And I said, you've been here for a month. He's here for a month. I said, what about your family? He goes, no, I don't care. And I get it. He's 14 going on 15. I could care less if I had seen my, family at that age. But I said, well, Gonzalo, don't you, he's like, I don't know why. He says, you have everything I could possibly need here. He goes, I don't need to go back to Spain.
Wow.
So his mother said to me, she goes, we're going to have like a little deprogramming session with him because he doesn't get the refrigerator in his room here like he did at my house,
Yeah,
I had a party. I let them have a party last weekend, a going away party. There was like 15 kids from all over Spain here in my yard. Okay, so yeah, we had a fire pit. I said, we're going to have a farewell s'mores party. They're like, we don't know what s'mores is. I'm like, oh, well, you will.
I was going to say, s'mores had to be part of the equation.
And if you do a couple bong hits, you're really going to want those s'mores. So they didn't know what s'mores were. So I set everything up for s'mores. I bought chips. I bought soda. I bought a fruit platter for them. Michael made hot dogs and hamburgers and cupcakes, like a couple dozen cupcakes. At the end of the night, and a couple of cases of water. At the end of the night, here's what was left. All of the soda, all of the chips, most all of the cupcakes, and the water was gone, and the fresh fruit was gone. These kids don't eat crap. They were not the least bit.
I would have thought
like any of that processed. They're all thin. They're all healthy because I told you when they saw cereal, they were like, their minds were. Gonzalo did say to me, he goes, for my last breakfast before I go, he goes, I'm having Reese's Puffs. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's the closest that I ever came to that kind of experience.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Jeff.
Yes, hi, boys.
Hi.
And I have a great question for the room based on your experience. But I brought a singer over from England who lives. We call him.
Never been to London.
Never been to London. He lives in a place called Bolsover, which is like
next to Sherwood Forest.
Right. So we call him Sherwood Forest Gump
because he
just was clueless about everything. Right. And I mean, and he's in here in Fort Myers and he's seeing, a Lambo here and a McLaren there and 5 Corvettes and 12. And he goes, does everybody in America have a nice car?
Is everybody rich?
Everybody rich in America is like,
yeah.
Not really, but
no.
Yeah, he wanted a Mustang.
Yeah, because it was an empty.
Oh,
That's the iconic like Americana
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
original muscle car from back in the day. Yeah.
But his
So, yeah.
mom came over the first time he came, and I brought her into Publix, and she did like we went
Gonzalo
on the
did.
cereal
Yeah.
aisle, the juice aisle. She went, I can't believe how many different kinds of juice there is here. In my store, there's like 2 different kinds, and just orange juice alone. It's like she couldn't.
yeah.
It was
Couldn't
like,
wrap her head around it. All right, so here's my question for the room. Here's my question for the room, based on Ms. Mouse' recent experience. If you had a kid, a foreign exchange student, or 14,
Not
15-year-old
your own kid.
not your own kid, somebody, I mean, it doesn't matter what the circumstances
Somebody
are.
you like.
Well, whatever.
Kid.
Yeah, no, say it was.
Someone you can
You're
tolerate.
in Mousie's situation,
From
and you
another
could take
country?
a young person from another country, one place in New York. Where would you take them? Jeff, we'll start with you.
Yes, Jeff.
In New York,
Yep.
I take it to Tony Soprano's house. No, I'm kidding.
That's in
That's
Jersey.
Jersey.
Well,
It's in New Jersey.
Probably down to the Wall Street district, probably to the 9/11 memorial.
Oh, very, very good. That would be cool.
Wow.
Pretty
Interesting
amazing,
enough,
the whole pool and the fountains and everything around there.
I have never seen it since it happened. And the weird thing about that is, Lori got called for jury duty on Church Street on that morning.
Yes.
that
Yes.
Tuesday morning.
We were getting.
And I was
What?
oh yeah, and I
the
was going to
night-
take not Remy,
and we didn't
Cody.
even live in Manhattan. We lived in Westchester.
we were in Westchester. And she gets called for jury duty on
Yeah.
Church Street.
Where-
And
which was right
so
by
I
the-
said, well, you know what? They had Century 21, is a hip clothes store at
Yeah.
One World Trade. I said, I'll drop you off, and Cody and I will walk down to One World Trade, and I'll get some clothes. Some cool clothes. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to go down. And she
No,
gets.
actually,
oh, no,
I
you had
got
to
a
call
call
in.
the night before, and they said,
Right.
tomorrow is an election day.
It was an election day,
You
so there
don't
was
have
no
to go.
court.
Tuesday.
But we were already,
Yeah.
So we didn't
prepared to go.
We were all ready
So
to
I
hop in the car and go. And
Yeah, I said, let's go anyway,
Yeah,
because
right.
I want to go look at the clothes store. And so we were up and we were watching the Today Show, and all of it, and it was a gorgeous day, and all of a
Frickin'
sudden
insane.
we
That's a beautiful day.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, Tom, you're up.
There was a
One kid, one place, New York. Hit it.
Well, Jeff already took my where I would take somebody,
Really?
You would do the
Take your
same.
steam.
and I did take somebody to Grand Central Station once too.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
great.
But this is somebody that you want to live.
Okay, Lenny.
Lenny, yes. One person, one place, New York.
One person, one place. Wow. Central
Young
Park
person,
would be nice.
a young person.
Yeah, Central Park would be nice,
Yep.
and Times Square and 42nd Street would be kind of eye-opening too.
Yeah, like Mousy did. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
you know, my dad used to take me to 42nd Street back in the day.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, when they had all the cool drug dealers and hookers?
and all the porn and all that.
Yeah, that was happening in that
Every other
place.
theater was a porn theater, so he did that to kind of open up my brain a little bit. So yeah, that's why I
Nice.
did that. But Central Park would be nice.
Booker.
That'd be insightful.
Two
Booker.
places. The Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And second one would be to a Yankee game.
Oh.
We did go to a Yankee game, and the kids absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Did they
And-
understand the game? Did they know, did they
Oh
understand?
yeah, they did. Yeah, they're not
course they
ignorant
did.
like us. They're worldly. They understand other sports, even if it's not in there. But I have to tell you, even the other night when we were watching, and I get it. Look, first of all, soccer is their jam. So I'm like, it's people running, I'm running and running, and it's cool and it gets exciting, especially towards the end. But it's a lot of like downtime, and they're on their phones or whatever. But at the Yankees game, when they were watching, it was the bottom of the ninth, and it's 2-3,
Oh,
and Aaron Judge gets up
Uh-oh.
to the plate, and they're sitting there, and they were like, they're like, oh, now we understand. Like why this is because every person in that stadium was on their feet. And of course he didn't come through,
Right.
but it was, it
The
was like,
rush. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like it was between people, just sort of like a hush went over the stadium of anticipation. And
Mm.
then this kind of like the swell of like, the murmuring, and then it's getting louder and louder. And by the time, they're throwing the first pitch, the whole place is going crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then they were like, oh, now we get why
Who
people,
are they playing?
the Mets were playing the Yankees and the Mets. It was Subway. It's
Oh,
Subway Series.
Man,
oh,
Subway.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little out
That
of
was
touch.
the only game they
Who
were
won?
in.
I know they got their asses
Oh,
handed
really?
to them every other game there, but
Is that true? The Mets beat the Yankees?
All
oh,
4 games of the
they
Subway Series.
shelled the Yankees in every other game. They only beat them by 1 run in this game, but in the other one, what was it like? Something insane, like
Well, the last game was 12 to
12,
3.
12-3.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
Wow.
brutal. It was brutal.
That must be good this year.
Yeah.
Where would you
They're in the
take?
playoffs.
Where would you take
Where would
someone?
I take someone?
I know where I would.
I either, well, I mean, all of these places were great.
Yeah.
I might take someone either to the United Nations because it was so cool, or maybe Madison Square Garden.
Ah.
Hmm.
I would
That's
take
cool.
to FAO Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Bloomingdale's.
The big thing that they, the piano that you play on big.
Hanks, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling them, I was explaining to them about Christmas here. And I
Oh.
was saying about the different stores and things because I was showing them, I go, look, when we were by Rockefeller Center, I said, in the wintertime, I go, there's people skating here. And they're like, there is? I said, yeah, they're skating, ice skating. And of course, that's not a thing to do in Spain, ice skating. So they were asking about that. And then I was explaining about the tree and how it's such a ritual here. I think because
Archery.
the country, like Madrid, it's almost like a country unto itself.
Yeah.
Barcelona is like a totally different thing. Catalonia is trying to get like independence from Spain. So there's a lot, going on there. It's almost like divided and isolated among itself. So it's kind of weird. But I will tell you, the kids were like, it's now 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, can we have dinner now? And I'd be like, yeah, because you know me, the insomniac, Jeff. I'm like, oh, this is great. These kids don't want to eat till like 10 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah, they would eat like 10 o'clock at night would be their dinner.
That used
Well,
to drive me friggin' crazy in Spain, man.
Oh, you were saying that you had
Oh,
a meal, so you
God.
were like, I'm
Crazy.
eating first. Yeah.
Because there's a point in the afternoon where I want a little something, right? And
Yeah.
everything is closed until
Everything.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
When I was in
happened to me
Spain,
in
we went to-
England.
Yeah, right. That's all of Europe, though. They just like
Yeah.
shut it down. And I think it's good, like we're the ones who just go, 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 go and cram everything in. And then at 5 o'clock, we're like done. But
Well-
they're like, oh, what's the
But then,
rush? We're like doing some
even-
stuff
but-
in the morning. We're taking a break and then we'll do some more stuff.
Well, you all
McDonald's
must
is
remember. Go ahead.
I said
What-
McDonald's is open
But you all must remember
in Europe. All over.
when everything closed at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, but Thursday night things were open till 9, and nothing was open on Sunday, right? I mean, isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
so? It's when did I don't know who changed that, which I don't have a problem with it. I like things being open, but it's amazing how.
Well, they still have blue laws in Bergen County, which is like the most populated county in New Jersey. So it's like Paramus and, that whole area there of all those towns where, it's right on the border of going up into New York. And they have blue laws there. And every once in a while it comes up because all of them, of course, everybody then comes to the other counties to do their shopping on Sundays, which isn't a problem now so much because everybody shops online. But it used to be like we would just see these lines of cars coming down to Willowbrook Mall in Wayne, which is Passaic County, on Sundays. And it would just be like, oh, I just wanted to go to the mall and grab like one quick thing. But forget it. There's no parking. The people would
Nope.
be crazy. But every once in a while, it comes up for a vote because those places, they have big malls in Bergen County, and they say, we're losing all kinds of money. It comes up for a vote, and every time the people who live there vote it down, they're like,
Mm.
fuck no. We're happy not to have any traffic coming through here on
Wait,
Sundays.
it's funny that you said that because it reminded me of the fore and aft in Brewster, and I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, remember the fore and aft in Brewster. And when the drinking age in New York was 18 and the drinking age in Connecticut was 21, or no, I'm sorry, excuse me, wrong. The drinking age in both states was the same, but they had to be closed by 2
They
o'clock.
stayed open later
And
in New York. Yeah.
before. And it was like, why are we starting the last set at 2:30 in the morning? And it would be, man, there was a line out the door from Connecticut. It was just
Yeah.
crazy. And I don't know if they planned it that way, if anybody was smart enough to think about that, but I remember that pretty well. It was amazing, amazing time.
Hey, so what about Billy Joel's
Last.
last show?
Do we believe that, number
No,
one?
it's his last of the residency, so he won't be there in 8 weeks. But he's not. I mean,
How
he
many?
even-
15 years is it that he's been doing that?
10 years of the residency.
of the residency? I think. What did they say? How many shows? 150.
150.
Yeah.
260
Lenny says 260.
million. I'm talking dollars.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I thought
Well,
it was odd that his last surprise guest, he's had amazing guests there singing along with him all kinds of times. It was, Bruce Springsteen and Sting and whomever else. And it was Axl Rose last night. And I was like, well, how does this fit into the puzzle? So Axl
Yeesh.
Rose was his guest performer with him last night.
That's who it was. I know.
Yeah, it was Axl Rose.
Did anybody watch the opening ceremonies today?
Oh my, yeah, I just put them off downstairs.
There's people I know that said they were in tears when Celine Dion was singing.
She
They said she was amazing.
knocked it out of the park, bro.
Yeah.
She knocked it out. And she said, I mean, when she was being interviewed about this whole condition that she has, she goes, I just don't know. And I heard like some chatter that Lady Gaga was like a backup person, that if she got to the point where she was going to sing today and there was a problem with her performing because of this stiff person syndrome where she can't move and her neck doesn't work and her vocal cords don't work, and she says, I never know when it's going to be. But she probably,
What did
pulled
she?
it out
I
of
don't want to ruin it for myself, but what did she sing?
some French song.
Oh,
Who?
some French song?
Dion, Celine Dion,
Wow.
and the Belmonts.
I probably should have watched it, but we had so much going on.
I can't imagine that they're not going to.
You can watch just the performance.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch just the performance, but you can watch the whole thing is actually pretty cool. The whole opening ceremony is pretty cool.
It was, and when I
Who
tell
lit the
you,
torch? Who lit the torch?
I'm not sure who it
Hush over the
was,
crowd.
but Snoop did carry the torch part of the way.
Yeah, he
Snoop
did.
Dogg.
He
That was a
did.
plot.
I'm surprised he didn't light his.
I wanted him to light a blunt with it. I was like, hey kids, don't be caught
Did you
without
watch it?
some flame.
Did you watch it? He was going like this.
Yeah, here's Snoop with the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the first performers was Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some of that.
Yeah, and they said she did hers without any rehearsal or anything. I said she rehearsed. She just didn't rehearse at the venue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to see that.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, you don't see it so well at first until you really notice the entire time. Downpour of
Yeah,
rain.
Yeah.
Pouring, like not just like, oh, it's raining. It was like you could see all of a sudden at certain times, I'm like, holy shit, it is really
yeah, it
raining
was
there.
really coming down.
Yeah, the entire time. And not that it dampened the spirits of the athletes. They were like out of their minds, like excited
you know-
to be there. But
everybody's in a boat because they did it on the sand.
Yeah,
Right.
they all came down on boats
Everybody's in
instead
the
of doing the
boat,
parade.
and some of the countries only have like 3 athletes,
So they
they
got
end
like on
little
the
boats.
little end of the boat.
They
Yeah,
had these
Their
little boats,
entires
and you can see them. They're like this.
I know. And somebody said, so they said Russia and Belarus are not participating, and somebody corrected her right away, and he
They were
goes,
in a
no,
submarine.
yeah, they're banned. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're in the timeout chair, and they explained that they're banned because of their participation in, the whole thing with Ukraine. And I was thinking, yeah, how would you allow that to happen if they were like competing against each other, like a Russian, athlete and somebody from the Ukraine?
Tennis players do it. Remember last year at the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Wimbledon, and they were like, they wouldn't put the flag
Yeah, they
up
wouldn't put the
for
flags up for
Russia, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't say what country they were from. But they were like, they shook hands at the end, and they were very respectful of each other.
Yeah,
Well,
as
didn't
it should
start
be,
the
but for the
bullshit. They're
country to
just
be
athletes.
coming in there waving their flags and everything, you know what? You're in the timeout chair. Sorry,
Waving
not
flags
sorry.
all over the place, singing "We." I'll tell you about I had an Olympic experience once.
Yeah.
In 1960, it was 76. Didn't we have, wasn't there Olympics in 76?
Probably.
Yeah,
Well-
there was, because there was ones
Somewhere.
in '82. That's the one that
Okay.
Russian
So look it up.
boycotted with Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, please look it up.
76.
Please look it up. All right,
I
so
will.
in
It was
70
Winter Olympics, right?
in 76, they were talking about the Winter Olympics. Colmar, which is a clothing manufacturer, made the suits for the United States ski team. And they were gorgeous, it's that skin tight, like, I don't know, latex, whatever they make it out of, and the red, white, and blue stripes going down the sleeves, and the red, white, and blue pads on the knees. And you used to being crazy and making a lot of money. I used to have my skis made up in Vermont at Rosenau, right? So I'm at Hunter Mountain now. After the Olympics and after all of the amateur games, they have
It was in Austria,
It was in Austria. Okay.
Innsbruck.
They have Innsbruck.
Brooke.
They have the
Innsbruck,
the
right.
pro whatever it is races at Hunter Mountain. I'm sure maybe you've heard of it or maybe not. And I'm wearing this.
Mousy skis with Hunter Mountain.
Okay, so they have the professional races there, right? They
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
So I go to Hickory and Tweed, which is in White Plains, and my God, they have the frickin' Colmar United States team suit. I said, I have to have that, and I buy the frickin' thing, right? So now I'm got the hat, and I got the boots and the skis. I'm
The actual
prototype, yeah, the real suit. I got a set of prototype F5s, Rosenau F5s, and I'm coming down Hellgate, and all of a sudden this yellow jet comes up next to me, and it's Gustavo Tini, the captain of the Italian ski team.
Wow.
Recognizes the suit. And he says, "We go!" And I'm like, "Fuck no!" And injury. Oh, okay. And, oh yeah, so I never wore that suit again. By the way,
We go.
we go.
But if you wore it in Austria, you could probably go anywhere for free and get, drinks and dinners and.
Right, but if you're on the mountain next to the captain,
Yeah,
of the
no, then you don't do that.
maybe not such a good idea. Yeah, so that wound
Hey,
up.
what's going on with our friend Slim Shady? How's he doing?
Slim Shady.
Angus.
Oh.
That's
I thought you mean Slim Shoddy. He's good. He's home. He sounds great.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I was going to come in tonight, but I don't want everybody asking me a bunch of questions." I said, "Angus, you're not going to be awake for half of it anyway. Don't worry about it." But, he's good. He's he's
But that
going.
means things are back to normal so much. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's back to normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just needs to have a little, one or two more little tweaks done, and
He's got to gain 15 pounds.
Yeah, what a problem.
on, and
On a
he's
low-fat
on a
diet. How do you
low-fat
do
diet.
that?
And he said, "What can I eat?"
How do you
To
gain
tell him-
15 pounds on a low-fat
Yeah,
diet?
15 pounds on a low-fat diet.
Yes. He
Because
said,
they don't want him to get carbs.
Right. They don't.
They don't
Right.
want him to, because you know what? There's a lot of when cardiac issues go along with, like, you know, that sugar insulin resistance thing. So they don't
Yeah.
want that to happen. So I
"Well,
guess
he used to eat
he's
a
gonna
thing-
have to start doing some of those protein shakes with the extra, you know.
Oh, that's Ensure or something like
Right.
that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
That's a great
But
idea.
There are
Ensure
there are
it's very
products used.
caloric, and but there's, you know, what he needs is what bodybuilders use. Like, he needs to go get, you know, you get the big container. That's
Protein.
what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to use one called. I used to use two of them, and one was called Synthesix, which was the main one I used. That's actually pretty low in fat, and the other one was called True Mass, and it tasted so good. And then I read the ingredients, and it was really so you would gain mass. There was a lot of everything in it.
Yeah, it's highly caloric. So
No,
A lot of protein in it, but it had a lot of everything else too.
Yeah.
no sugar?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
It was,
Not-
it was lower in sugar than a milkshake.
Oh,
But
yeah.
So is sugar.
that was one of the things the kids from Spain, when they discovered here, when I was giving them, you know, milk, and I said, "Oh, do you want chocolate milk?" And they're like, "What's chocolate milk?" And I
Oh
was
my
like, come on, bro. So I take out the thing of Hershey syrup. I go, "You've never seen this before?" They're like, "We don't know what that is." So I made them chocolate milk, you know, big cold glasses of chocolate milk with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They had never had peanut butter and jelly before.
Oh,
And they were, yeah, exactly what you just said. They were just like, they're like, "Oh my gosh, can we have this tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah."
Should have
Can we
given
have
him.
this every
Chocolate milk
day?
was amazing to them. They couldn't believe chocolate milk. It was
Yeah.
like there was magic in this bottle.
if you took them to serendipity, they would freaking OD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
right?
Chocolate.
That chocolate from serendipity was
But we were talking. Your ears must have been ringing the other day too, Mousy, because we were in. Was it Ollie's where we were? That has all the toys.
yes.
Holy shit!
have all these action
Every
figures.
freaking action
They
figure.
have-
Oh, like who?
They have Lando Calrissian. They've got freaking.
Harrison Ford.
They have everybody. You
Yeah.
name it. You
You
name
know,
it.
I like those weird ones. I just got another. I got Nancy Reagan the other day. Came in. So
I don't
They
think-
had a black Gumby.
What?
no, they
No.
did not.
What
They
if
had Ric Flair. They had Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
They had all the Star Wars characters, all the Star Trek things.
Yeah,
Shit I never heard of.
$10.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
What's on your wish list? We know black Gumby.
Yeah, tell us what's
but-
on your. Yeah, we're still looking for Black Gumby, but tell us what's on your wish list, and we'll.
Oh my God. You know what? I like anything that's weird. Like I said, I have LeVar Burton, and I have, you know, John Boy Walton, and I have Ronald and Nancy Reagan, and I have
Ronald and Nancy Reagan.
Okay.
and
all
Okay,
right.
my brother actually sent me the other day from eBay. Said, "I'm sending something from eBay," and it was like a set of Elvis Presley in the original package from back in like 1980 something,
Elvis Presley, what? You cut out.
matching coffee mugs.
Oh.
Ah,
One is Teddy Bear, one is Hound Dog, one is
Wow.
Jailhouse Rock, one is Love Me Tender. Some different versions of Elvis. And the joke was when Michael and I first got married, we were so poor. And so, like, whatever, you know, that was the only set of matching things. So when people would come to our house to have something, we would be like, "Oh, let's put out the Elvis mugs," because he
That's cute.
it was so like Missouri white truck kind of thing.
That's
We're
Yeah,
fine.
but
like, "Do you want dog or do you want Love Me Tender?"
You were really in love. You didn't marry for money or anything.
she married for
And my brother gave it to us as a joke because, so hokey.
Love him.
But
Well,
we're like, we're using this shit, bro. I'm not getting
when
man.
I was when they asked me to read the thing at John's service in London, one of the things that I mentioned, so you have to tell about the person and all this stuff. And one of the things that I said was he was the only person that I knew that had the entire set of Marilyn Monroe collector plates.
He did.
Wow.
Wow.
He had a Marilyn Monroe room with like a
like those Franklin Mint.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
love Franklin Mint. Oh.
He used to every day. I was usually first up because don't forget, I'm 5 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm first up, and the
he
place
didn't
to
stay
hang
up
there.
until 5 in.
Yeah.
John did.
And the place to hang in that house was the kitchen. There was a television in there, and I remember
Leather couches.
we were leaving when we first got there. We were going to go out, and I went to turn the television off. He goes, "Don't turn the television off." I said,
Don't
"What?
tell it off,
Don't turn it off." He said, "No, we never turn it off."
And you said, why?
And he said, "Well, because maybe it'll blow up. It might not
won't come
turn
back
back on."
What?
Yes.
So it sat there and when it stopped working, they had brought another one.
Yeah.
But every day,
Every
you would either
single day.
you would get a white truck, a red truck, which is the Queen's Mail, or a yellow truck, which was DHL, FedEx. And they would all bring boxes and put them outside the kitchen door. And I mean, boxes like crazy shit. And somebody would come down and collect all the boxes and take them away, and you never see them again. And this is going on for like weeks, right? And I said, and so this one day they just delivered just an absurd amount of boxes, and big boxes, right? And they're piled up, and you could see them out the window.
So curiosity got the cat.
So I said, and I don't. You buy stuff. If you want me to know what it is, you'll tell me, right? I couldn't take it anymore. I said, dude, what the fuck is with all these trucks? They show up every day and they bring stuff. What is going on? He said, well, I watch the shopping channel every night.
Wow.
Yeah,
They stay up all frickin' night and wired out of their faces and, oh, let's get that. And so this one day with the giant boxes, I mean, it looked like somebody was trying to build a bounce house castle out of these boxes. I said, what the fuck is in all those boxes? And he said, oh, I bought sheets and pillowcases for all the bedrooms. We're talking like 14 rooms.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Comforters and duvets and
from QVC or whatever. Home shopping
every
network.
day. And I said, really, every day? And he said, well, Christmas would come around and I never, I didn't get presents really. And it was sort of a lean time back, post-war. He said, so I'm making up for it now.
And he had like all of his clothes, his stage clothes and everything, since the beginning of time. He never threw anything away.
Never threw anything away. Just
Really?
got
Wow.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes. And I mean it was.
He had like some barn full of old.
He had a barn. He said, you want to see something cool? I mean, we're just hanging out, we're walking the dogs. And I said, yeah, sure. And so we walk, and we're talking about 53 acres of,
Looks like
English
park,
countryside.
yeah.
And most of it is manicured.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. No, thanks. And so we walk up this path right through these woods, and I can see in the distance there's a barn, like a full size.
And you wouldn't know it.
A barn. You would never know it was there. I had been going there for years. I never saw this fucking thing, right? And so he goes there and he pulls a key out of his pocket and he unlocks the padlock and he opens the barn doors, and there is every piece of gear that you can ever imagine in your life in its box. DX7s, freaking OBX, this,
Wow.
like in the original box, which, harmonizers and just
Unopened.
No, he would take them out and he would play with them for a week and he'd put them in the back in the box and tell Dave, take this out to the barn. And I mean, it looked like a museum of like a Sam Ash warehouse. It was
Wow.
OBXA.
I think it's so he couldn't see them and he could buy more things and not feel guilty.
Profit 10, Profit 5s. I mean, just insane shit. Just, and never threw anything away, never sold anything,
Nope.
never got rid of anything. So,
Wow.
yeah.
What happened to all that stuff?
Well,
Auction.
they eventually they auctioned
Julian's.
all off.
Yeah.
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's, yeah. Well, in England, you have to pay a death tax.
Yeah, man.
If you die, your family has to pay a huge tax.
They sold his whole guitar collection, 300 guitars. Jimmy Page bought like the number 3 Flying V,
Yeah.
and I think Eddie Vedder bought the number 2 Explorer. And I mean, we're talking number 3 and number 2, the real. And it was, his collection was just, we're talking Booker, you would have gone nuts. Plank basses from back in the day, you know, those old Telly basses with the, just insane. He had Bill Wyman's Framus bass that he used to play. Oh shit! I'm telling you, it was like, and when I would produce the records there, I would tell the guitar player, "Oh, get that."
And they were like in drawers.
Yeah,
He
they
had
were.
in drawers like more.
You know, when you go on the road and you have the road case that has maybe a dozen guitars in it, and they slide out onto it. He had 300 guitars in those in a temperature-controlled room.
But you open the drawer like a morgue instead
and
of a
slide
body.
it out, and there'd be the coffin case, and you'd open it up, and there's a deluxe freaking
It was crazy.
Les Paul. But the craziest thing that I saw there, I mean, and this isn't. First of all, who do you know that lives in England, Jeff? You can chime in on this. That has air conditioning in their house.
Not many people.
Yeah, no.
Not only did Entwistle have air conditioning in his house, but he had a picture window, had to be 6 feet by maybe 4 or 5 feet, picture window, inch thick glass that went up and down like a car window.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And air conditioning.
And when we wanted to take our one of the band pictures, we wanted to do it outside, but it was too cold, so we just opened the window and sat on the freaking windowsill, and it looked like we were outside.
Put the milk in the windowsill.
So, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, we
Take
all
care,
do.
brother. Yeah, we all
Have
gotta
a great
go.
gig.
Bye.
See you next week. Thank you.
Take care, brother. Have a great show.
Bye.
Bye, Booker. You know, I just wanted to say something quick. I don't know if anybody saw the thing on Instagram. I guess it was Eric Clapton's Instagram, and he talked about John Mayall.
Right. Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you see that?
No,
And it was actually humble. I was shocked.
Really?
He talked about how he was pretty emotional for Eric, and he talked about how John Mayall took him in. He was very young. He was like
First
a father
job,
figure
yeah.
to him. He said he was more than a mentor. He was a father figure to me. He took me in. He said, I lived with him for years. He said he did everything he could to like help my career. And he said, in not these exact words, but pulling no punches, he said, I basically paid him back by being like a drunk and a womanizer. Like, you know, just fucking around basically. And yeah, and you know, he said, but I've made amends to him, you know, long ago, and but he said, I don't forget that I am where I am because of John Mayall giving me a chance when I was all of like 17 years old. And I thought, I'm not the biggest Clapton fan in the world, but I thought, you know what, that was a little classy of him for a change.
What
So,
was the show?
pardon?
it was his Instagram.
Oh, is it Instagram?
I think it was on his Instagram, because I don't think he does TikTok, but it was, John Mayall. I must have seen him 20 times in my lifetime. I was a huge fan of his. I loved his early stuff. I loved his stuff when he did his fusion stuff with Keith Hartley on drums and still playing drums. I mean, and he played up until like, honestly, his last day. He was 90 when he passed. So he's one of those people, like I put on my Facebook page, if you know, you know, because he's one of those guys who kind of, was the impetus for a lot of people that went on after him. Johnny Winter.
Yeah,
and,
like all the blues guys, all those,
Yeah, exactly. And, he never really got to be a mainstream person that was a household word. So, but the people that followed him, Eric Clapton, etc., certainly did. So,
It's funny that you say that, and I wish I could remember the guy's name, but I can't remember his name. But all of us would know him. He was like the guy who got everybody their endorsement deals from Arbiter, and I mean all the way back in the day, Vox and all that. And he said, he said, I remember I wanted to give Eric some Sound City amplifiers or something like that, and it was Pridden that was telling me the story, Bobby Pridden, and he said, and somebody said to him, "No, don't give those to Eric. They'll never get plugged in. He'll sell."
Well, we saw a documentary with Eric Clapton, and he said, I fucking hated being in Cream. I wish I had never left John Mayall's band. I hated that band.
No, you took.
No, he hated being in Cream.
Well, I know he hated being.
No,
in
he
Cream.
said he wished that he had never quit John Mayall's
The Blues
band.
Breakers.
Yeah,
Yes,
Blues
the guy with
Breakers,
the pink shirt on. Yes.
You might have seen it on the internet, but there's a young Cream band coming up.
a young Cream band. Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's one of a Ginger Baker nephew or son.
Coffee Baker.
Yeah.
Malcolm Bruce.
Okay.
No, Malcolm Bruce?
Yeah, Malcolm Bruce. Coffee Baker. Such
it's
sons of Cream.
Rogers Jr.
What?
Do you remember when they did that Saturday Night Live sketch where it was like Buddy Rogers Jr., his father was famous, and it was like Martin Short doing this goofy guy, and it was like, or Jerry Lewis's like great nephew and Katharine Hepburn's like second niece or something.
I
So
missed that.
The biggest thing since Dino, Desi, and Billy.
Yeah, right.
yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh, Jesse and Billy. Wow.
Desi, Dino, and Billy. Yeah, right.
Gotta
Wow.
run, y'all.
Take care, bro. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Good to see you, Jeffrey. Bye, children of the lawn. We love you so much.
I
Have a good
to
week,
pay
everyone.
respect to your pastor.
Is it
Yes.
time to go?
What?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
pretty
it's
much time
time
to
to
go.
go. We're
Yeah.
5 minutes over, Lenny.
Yeah, we're paying for satellite time. It's expensive.
Should I get my thing going?
Yeah,
You
go
have
ahead.
a pasture? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have clothes on. Did you get your thing going?
Let's
don't
see,
know.
Len.
It hardly goes anymore. Hold on.
Oh my
Oh, wait.
God.
Okay. Patch.
You know, wait. Hold on.
He's
Let me get that.
Patch.
That's not the whole thing. I guarantee you this is not the whole thing.
It's the
Okay.
whole thing. 2 pictures.
Patch.
Really,
It's a song?
Flock of seagulls.
song.
It's a song.
Is there something behind you we're not seeing? Is there just two things?
Is it just 2 pictures?
It's the
Yeah, he said
bird
that's the whole thing.
and
Well-
Marsha Diane.
What?
I'm really sorry that Booker left.
Okay, you're sorry. Like
Moshe Diane.
I don't even know what that means.
That's that guy. That's the
Oh
guy.
Moist
You know that?
Diane.
You know this? You know the story about Moshe Diane?
no, I don't even know who that is.
Oh, did you know him?
No, but I have a Moshe Diane joke.
God.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he like bad?
He was, ladies walking down the street.
Military leader of Israel.
Ladies walking down the street, and there's a parrot out in front of the pet shop. And the parrot waits for the lady every day, and as soon as she walks by his perch, he goes, Moshe Diane jerks off. And the lady freaks out. She keeps walking, just, okay. Next day she comes by, Moshe Diane jerks off. And so she starts to get, after about a week or so, that she starts to get really upset. So she goes in and she says to the pet store guy, listen, your bird is saying some pretty foul stuff to me, and I really would like it corrected because I find it offensive. And the guy says, listen, lady, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. She comes, so she's walking down the street, she sees the parrot, and she's looking at the parrot. She goes by the parrot, and the parrot goes,
Because he has a patch on his eye.
Okay, does anybody have their
don't
Sonic
know.
Universe album close by?
no, oh, is that what?
Oh, it's a song on
the
Sonic
song?
Universe?
Yep.
But they're not
Blind
calling
Eye.
it anymore.
What?
Turn a blind eye.
Turn a blind eye.
Oh, the turn.
You should've
Okay,
put
the
the
bird
bird
is
You should have put the
got it.
bird first, and we would have got it. I thought it was
Yeah, I
blind.
was hoping the booker would see it.
Good effort, good effort.
Yeah, great effort, Lenny.
I
That
don't-
was
Good one,
fantastic.
Len.
I'll
Good
send it to
one.
Booker. I'll send it to Booker.
Well, you know what? You
If
can
Booker
do.
was here, he would have gotten it probably.
Oh God!
I
All
wouldn't
right.
have gotten it for $1 million. I've never heard of Moshe Diane.
You know, okay.
That's
No.
not
Yeah,
the
yeah, that's
Turn a Blind Eye as the song.
yeah, it's a blind eye.
Okay.
I figured the motion Diane would throw everybody off.
I can't believe I got to use that joke after all these years.
That's great.
Oh, that's a good joke.
Let me ask you, can you
Little
believe?
gifts from heaven. You never know.
Can you believe that we're the same age as old people?
Oh, Mousy, are you like lonesome without your
Yeah, without
young
your.
Spaniards?
You know what? I do miss them because everything was so wonderful to them. They were, everything was just new and amazing. And I have to tell you, I took them to medieval times and it's all about Spain and stuff. Our night one, those kids acted like they just won the fucking like World Soccer Cup. They're up there, they're standing there screaming at the top of their lungs, even though it's like actors, but I mean, medieval times is actually pretty impressive. It's real horses and they're fighting with
Did some
swords and there's
stuff with
sparks
them.
flying and, they're jousting. The sticks are actually like breaking and whatever. So, but
That
our
was
night one and they were having, what they just, but I told you the thing is that they said people here, he said, we thought everyone in America would be like very keep to themselves. I go, oh no. I don't know where you got that impression from. I go, we all mind everyone else's business and tell everyone else how to think, who to vote for, what they should be doing, so I go, no, but they thought we were going to be like, because they think of us as being such a powerful and sort of, wealthy country overall.
I met you.
Yeah, and then they met me,
Yeah,
and then it's all about Hershey's chocolate milk, bro.
I think what you did was fantastic.
I do too.
I have always been about leaving somebody with a good impression of an experience that they wouldn't otherwise have. I used to love to sneak, underage kids backstage for sound checks.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think what you did was
Yeah.
just fantastic, and
I used to love that when I was out with Joe Morello, and I would see, we'd be out somewhere, and you'd see some like kid standing in the corner with like a couple drumsticks stuck in his back pocket, just like fearful as fuck to come up and say anything to
Somebody
Joe,
brought
and
you
I'd
up the other
look
day.
at him, and he'd catch my eye, and I'd say, "Come here, you want to say hi to Joe?" And he's like, "Hi," and I was like, "Yeah, come on, come and say hi to Joe." And it was like magic to them
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
things that they never thought that they, get a chance to do.
That was
So.
an end whistle,
I used
too.
to do that with that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one quick story. We're playing was it the Boathouse in Boston? Is that
Yeah.
the place in Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Okay, playing the Boathouse. The bus is out back. I go out to the bus to grab something out of whatever it was, and I go outside and there's this girl with newspapers and
Young
she's
girl.
crying, young girl, and she's crying, and I said, what's the matter? And she said, well, I came to see Mr. Entwistle and they won't let me say hello. I said, who won't let you say hello? It was in the afternoon. I mean, she
Sound
said,
check.
oh, the bouncers, and then I said, come on. And so I take her, by the hand, a young girl with her newspaper, because it had his picture in it, John Entwistle comes to the Boathouse, whatever it is. And I walked her down the behind the stage where that long hallway is to the dressing rooms. And I said, John, this girl wanted to say hello to you, her name and whatever it was. And he said, oh, come on in. And he sat there and he signed her newspapers and stuff, and he was talking to her. And this girl showed up. She was in the lobby of every hotel that we played at that she could get to. Never said a word, never did anything.
stood there and
but
watched.
just to wave hello.
Aw,
It was
that's
so
so sweet.
man,
Yeah.
and she was in tears. It was such a wonderful thing. And I remember saying to her, "Look, why don't you come up? Come up to the green room. You'll enjoy." No, I'm not.
I don't blame her. No.
Like Stevie Winwood would never come in the house.
No.
It was.
Yeah.
She would never want to go see him
Yeah,
again.
no. Well, that's like when Steve Ferrone. We're talking about
Yeah.
Clapton. I'll end it on this one.
Yeah.
Steve Veroni's playing with Clapton when Nathan East, when he had that whole band
And
with
Clapton
Greg
happens to be my
Fillinganes.
favorite guitar player.
She loves the way Eric plays.
Yeah.
And
I like the way he sings too.
and Ferroni calls us up and says, "Hey
What?
guys, we're playing the Garden tonight. You know, if you'd like to come and see the show." And Lori says, "Okay, but only if we don't have to meet Clapton."
Because I didn't want
She
to.
didn't-
I didn't want to hate him.
She didn't want to hate him.
And I've heard what a prick he was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so there
Well,
you go.
there you go.
All right, well, we'll go watch his Instagram. And
Yeah, watches it.
Grogu says hi.
Oh yes, Grogu.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
And
He's green, really.
He's really green. But I don't know if you can see him, but there
I
you go.
can, we can
Yoda.
see him. Yeah, I can't see that he's green, but we can see him.
Yeah. Oh,
All
we're gonna
right,
have
everyone, have a great week.
Yeah, you
We're
too.
gonna
Have a
look
wonderful
at
week.
figures for you.
Yeah, there's action figures in your future.
Yes.
Take care, kids.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Wow.
It's funny.
Lenny.
Lenny's still trying to figure it out. But see, I know where the button is. I love Fridays.
Yeah.
You are not gonna like Fridays. No. Anyway, kids, that's it. You know, it's always a blast. I of course we miss Angus, but I have a feeling if you all put your energy in the right direction, you may see Angus Tuesday night. Not making any promises, but I know he's dying to get back to you, and well, not literally, but almost. And we're looking forward to his return. But I've, been talking to him. He's doing great. He's feeling great. He's happy. He's, walking around, and he's on the mend. So all good. He's not in the Bahamas or his pajamas. So,
Yay!
and on that happy note, my dear children of the lawn, if I don't see you in the future, I will see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Take care, kids.